All right, today we're going to journey into a really dense, really powerful philosophical parable. It's a story about a knight, a jester, and this desperate, desperate search for meaning in a world that doesn't seem to offer any. This is our deep dive into the crimson coin and the silence of seven seals. So, our story kicks off in this bleak, kind of indifferent village churchyard. And this line, it just captures the central tension perfectly. It's not just that it's quiet. It's a profound, heavy silence. The kind of silence that makes you feel like God is packed up and left, or maybe was never even there to begin with. This is the existential crisis our main character, the knight, is drowning in. And it's right here, in this desolate place, that our knight meets his total opposite, his shadow. So in this section, we're introducing the two figures at the very heart of this parable. The knight, a seeker just exhausted by his quest, and this mysterious figure who calls himself the not-self. Okay, so let's really break down this first meeting. We've got Antonius Block, a knight who has spent decades, searching for one single meaningful act that would make his whole life worthwhile, and he is just completely worn down. And right into the scene walks the uncanny jester, a figure described as the not-self made flesh. The air is just thick with that silence of heaven, which is really a symbol for the cosmic indifference the knight is up against. Now, the jester doesn't just show up empty-handed. Of course not. He pulls out an object that is going to be the catalyst for everything that happens next. So let's explore this thing he calls the uncanny mirror and see what it tells us about the soul. So he reaches into his motley, his jester's outfit, and he pulls out a crimson coin. The way it catches the candlelight just tells you it has a long, long history. This is not just pocket change. It feels like an ancient tool. It feels like it's been passed through the hands of countless seekers, all just like our knight. And get this, the coin has two totally distinct faces. On one side, you've got the jester's own face. This represents refraction. It's about finding the specific angle of light you need to see the hidden shadow side of your soul. Then, on the other side, there's a 300-year-old stone gargoyle. This side is the ground, the instrument's other half, and it holds a memory that's way, way older than any single human life. So here's the crucial thing. The coin is an uncanny mirror. It's not magic, it's an instrument. Its whole purpose is to take the knight's desperate, vague search for meaning and refract it, split it into a visible spectrum so he can finally see all the different parts of it and understand what he's even looking for. So now that we know what this coin is all about, the jester uses it to teach his first big lesson. He lays out two fundamentally different ways to approach faith and goodness, and he uses two different men to do it, our knight and an actor named Joff. And the contrast between them is, well, it's night and day. On one side, you have the knight, Antonius Block. His faith is all about sophisticated doubt. He's constantly calculating, analyzing, building these walls of ritual to protect himself from the void. And then you've got Joff, the actor. For him, goodness is just the body's default setting. He just naturally moves toward the light. No calculation, no ceremony needed. The knight's doubt isn't really framed as being smart or intellectual. It's actually a bad habit, a muscle memory. His faith has become this hollow ritual, something he does without thinking, and it has long since stopped checking to see if there's any living, breathing truth left in it. And this just nails Joff's whole vibe. His goodness isn't a performance. It's not a struggle. It's just the most obvious thing. It's his natural state of being. He doesn't have to think about his faith. He just lives it, instinctively. So what this all boils down to is that Joff is experiencing something that the knight has completely lost touch with. Joff's faith makes the familiar world seem strange and full of wonder. He sees the divine in the everyday, a simple, living truth that the knight's complex, overthinking mind has made him totally blind to. Okay, so from this really personal comparison, the jester suddenly zooms way out to something much, much bigger and, frankly, more terrifying. The conversation now turns to the apocalypse, specifically what it means for the seven seals to be broken. But this is not your typical fire and brimstone end of the world. No, in this story, the seven seals are something internal. They're the collected weight of all the unspoken truths, all the things an entire society has agreed to just ignore so they don't have to face that terrifying void. So the breaking of the seals is a process, a kind of judgment that comes from the inside out, not from high above.
First, all those unspoken truths just pile up and up. Then a blight of revelation hits, and suddenly everything is visible. Any sincerity that's gotten lazy and hasn't checked itself is exposed. And the silence that follows isn't empty, it's a mirror, reflecting everyone else's truth right back at you, forcing a final, unavoidable showdown with everything you've tried to leave unnamed.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of the knight's terror. Why is he so afraid of this silence? Because it's a shield. It's protecting him from the oldest and most profound human fear. The idea that all our suffering, our despair, our entire search for meaning is completely and utterly meaningless to the vast, indifferent universe.
So armed with this new, pretty terrifying understanding of faith and judgment, the knight's whole reality starts to crack. And this is where his transformation really kicks into gear, where we see him finally start to find an answer in the dark.
The jester's whole lesson brings the knight right back to square one. Back to the question that started this entire thing, the question that has haunted him his whole life. What is the meaningful act he's been searching for? And the answer is, it's breathtakingly simple, and at the same time, the hardest thing in the world. It's not about winning a great battle or saving a kingdom. The truly meaningful act is to just drop the performance, to stop looking for some heroic role to play, and to just be present, to face the world exactly as it is, with no script. This new wisdom completely transforms the knight's doubt. It's no longer this paralyzing, calculating thing. It becomes a vigil, a quiet, watchful presence. It's that state of awareness you have after you've used the mirror to see yourself clearly, and you can finally put it down. This just flips the whole idea of the human condition on its head, doesn't it? The spirit isn't the thing that finds the answers. The spirit is the question itself. It's that stubborn, relentless part of us that insists on looking for meaning, even when we're in a universe that owes us absolutely nothing. And so the knight finally does it. He accepts the crimson coin from the jester. And by doing that, he is accepting this difficult, new wisdom. He's not playing the part of a knight anymore, that hollow sham. He is simply becoming a witness to his own life, his own existence in all its unscripted, messy reality. That crimson coin, in the end, is a symbol for the ember. This is the small, essential light that we're all given at birth. It's the core of our potential, our capacity for discomfort and for change. It can be neglected, it can be buried under a lot of junk, but it can never be completely put out. The most meaningful act, then, is to simply attend to that ember. So the final question really isn't whether there's a big light at the end of the tunnel, but what are you going to do with the small, persistent ember that's burning inside you right here, right now?